What's going on? I've been away for a couple of days off of the YouTubes, and for good reason. So I've been spending the majority of my life on Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp, Craigslist, you name it, trying to find a new car to bring to the channel. I finally found one. I pick it up Saturday. I've already got the funds like done and everything like that. So well, Melanie and I have to go fly out to go pick up this car on Saturday and then drive it back up here to like the Seattle area. But I wanted to share some of my frustrations and some of my experiences with you guys, and I've set aside some crazy cars to cover with you on Facebook Marketplace. So I thought it would be a fun time and a little bit of a different video to do this. So we're gonna do it. Now, I do want to say this now. If any of these for sale posts are yours that I have pulled up, please don't get all offended and butthurt with me. Take it as constructive criticism because some of you are smoking crack. And that's all right. That's all right if you're smoking. You know, it's not all right, actually. Seek help if you are, but let's take a look at some cars. So I've been, like I said, living on Facebook Marketplace and all these other sites to be able to find a car. Now, I want to start off with this. I think that this is a very good, clean example for a 2002 or 2003 WRX. It's been driven 61,000 miles. It's for sale for $11,000. I feel like it's a very, very, very good example of an asking price for a car of this age with the miles that are on it. Now, some of you trying to post your Bug Eyes up, y'all are high. Like, this thing's clean. This thing clean. 61,000 miles on an 03 WRX. Well worth $11,000 in my opinion. Well worth it. Now, moving through these, we have this one. This 2003 WRX. Now, the modifications done to it, I feel like can justify the price of this car for $10,000. However, what did you take these photos with? Do you guys see how like pixelated they are? I have no idea. The screen capture should pick it up. You've got receipts and everything like that. You've got a surge tank back there. I feel like the parts actually may justify the price of this car. It's only been driven 93,000 miles. But if you're gonna post a for sale ad, please don't take your photos with a potato, people, or an ear of corn or something. Like, I can see there's a turbo there. I have no idea what turbo that is or anything going on around here because it's so pixelated. You ever play, what was the game? Cards Against Humanity, and you get the card that says pixelated? That's what I'm looking at right now. Like, if we scroll down, we look at the description here, 2002 Bug Eye, but right here you say 2003, so now I don't even know which year it is. Come on, like, just get the story straight. So, I mean, he does provide all of the modifications done to the car. It's just the photos on this one is what stuck out to me. Like, if you're gonna post a car for sale, do it with something that's not a Nokia that was made in 2002. Like, we're better than this. Come on, you guys. Now, here's one that's been irking me. Not necessarily this car, but for sale posts. I understand that as Subaru enthusiasts, we like to swap engines for more power. Maybe you blew yours up or something along those lines. But here's the thing that gets me. Right here about this vehicle, it's a 2007 Subaru Impreza WRX TR sedan. Awesome. I like the car. It looks clean. It looks cool. Now, driven 35,000 miles. Damn, this thing got some low miles for $12,500, right? Stop with this. Body has 200,000 miles. Stop. Come on. Come on. You guys, if your car, whatever it says on the odometer, please put that on your for sale posts. Help us all out so that way you're not honeying us thinking that this 2007 WRX, which, I mean, it's not a bad looking car by any means. I'm not a fan of those headlights, really, at all. But it's not a bad looking car. I like the car. It's just the honey of the mileage. Quit telling me your car has 30,000 miles on it or 35,000 miles on it when it clearly has 200,000 miles on it. I don't care how many miles are on your engine. I really don't think a lot of people care how many miles are on your engine. Just post the mileage of what's actually on the car. Like, it's a clean looking car for 200,000 miles. Don't get me wrong, the engine bay is extremely dirty and it looks like it has some good modifications on it. But the mileage thing, this is the only thing I wanted to like point out here. I do think that that price is insanely high for a car with 200,000 miles on it. The modifications on that thing I really don't think justify it unless it's got like a new motor, 2.5 liter with upgraded internals. Come on. What do you have in there? What do you got in there? Details. You're trying to sell me on this car. You're trying to make me want to buy it. Give me the info so that way I don't have to... Oh, that's fine. Intercooler. It's intercooler. I don't care that you put intercooler, but just side note, it's intercooler. Intercooler. It's one word. But anyways, just post the mileage that's actually on the car. Next up, I'm sure some of you guys have seen this one floating around Facebook Marketplace. So this one, the price is insanely wild for me, in my opinion. I just wanted to post this one. 2003 WRX wagon on hydraulics. I think it's a clean... It looks clean from this angle. It's a clean looking car right there. It's a really clean hydraulic setup, but to find a buyer for this, you're looking for someone, and it's a pretty clean engine bay. I'm going to say that radiator hose probably needs to be replaced. It's a pretty clean looking engine bay. Interior doesn't look all that bad. But it's an interesting car. I don't know how many people out there are buying cars with hydraulics anymore. I just wanted to point this one out. Like, all right. Hydraulics old school pro hopper. Can't get any more. Has 6-inch strokes in the front, 9-inch strokes in the rear. In the back in mini coils all the way around. Rides like a Subaru dog. Rides like a Subaru. Good luck with sale on this one. I just thought it was a little bit interesting. I came across this when I was searching for a new car for the channel. Interesting car. Not my cup of tea. Ah, yes, here's another one. Not necessarily a car. This one's more about the for sale post. It's a 2003 WRX, 125,000 miles on it. Your first picture is just one of the interior. It's not a bad looking Bug Eye. It's not a bad looking Bug Eye by any means. I think those lug nuts are a little gaudy in my opinion. Same with like all this blue painted interior, but that's beside the point. What stood out to me on this, make me an offer and read the listing or I will ignore you. You're trying to sell a car, you don't even put the price that you want for the car. How am I'm going to offer you $1,000 for this because you don't even know what you want for the car. I've seen a handful of these posts. I don't understand it. Maybe there's like there's no reason for this. If you're selling a car, just post how much you want for the car. Like, it's not a bad looking Bug Eye. And I think with what you have done to it, you could get like a decent... I'm not going to say decent. It's a Bug Eye with 125,000 miles. You're probably looking at like 8K max. In my opinion of dealing with Subarus, like back at like a couple of years ago, you could buy 02, 03 WRXs with like 120 to 140,000 miles for like 4 to 5K all day. 4 to 5K all day. This car is full air ride setup, everything like that. So, I mean, I do think that this Bug Eye could go for a little bit more. But just put a price, dude. Like, put what you're trying to sell it for. What's up with this one? Ah, yes, the description. If you're selling a car, put a description with it. So we have a 02 WRX here. It's an automatic. Couple of photos of it. Nothing really major. Here's my other thing. If you're trying to sell a car, like, post good photos of the car. Like, front, back, sides, engine bay. There's some dude smoking a cigarette right there in the passenger seat. Like, I don't know who you are. I'm gonna call you John. That could be your name, that could not be your name, I really don't know. But post a description and post some like decent photos. Like, really fun car, not so much trying to sell it. Why do you have it posted for sale then? Like, that's another thing that irks me. I have messaged so many people before actually buying the car that I'm picking up on Saturday. I've messaged so many people that are like, hey, I want to sell my car. And then I'm like, all right, awesome. I've got the funds ready. Let's get this going. I will literally get everything sorted so that way I can come down and buy the car. And then I get like weird excuses as to why they can't sell the car. If you don't want to sell the car, don't sell the car, but don't post it for sale trying to sell the car. Like, come on. But really fun car, not trying to sell it. Testing the waters. Yes, it's an automatic. Don't let this ... fool you. Because this car is pretty freaking quick. It's had a little done to it. What does that mean? Like, what's done to it? Like, that's my thing. Like, this person doesn't really sound like they want to sell a car, which is whatever. Which kind of goes back to my point of why are you posting it for sale. But descriptions, people. Take 5-10 minutes out of your day if you're trying to sell your car and put a description. Not a bad looking car. It needs a lot more info. Next up, 2002 Subaru WRX, $9,000. Is this car worth it? No, I don't think this one is worth it at all. So you've got a 02 WRX with over 200,000 miles, over 200K on a car that is now 20 years old. $9,000. You're trying to sell this thing for half of what its original MSRP pretty much was. Get off the crack pipes, people. It's not a bad looking Bug Eye, but I see maybe $4,000 to $5,000 here. Look at that front bumper. Front bumper's totally wrecked on that thing, totally destroyed. Headlights, I don't even know what's going on there. I don't think it's a bad looking car. It's tuned, comes with an access port. Definitely needs some work to get it to what I would consider my standard. You've got two different temperature bulbs for your license plate light. Like, that's something that would bother me. Okay, so I've only got a couple more that we're going through here. This one I actually went and looked at locally because from these photos and that price, I thought it was somewhat of a decent deal. This one's local to me in Tacoma, Washington. Let me start off by saying that these photos do way more justice to this car. When I looked at this, I was like, okay, sweet. It's got some CR Kawamis on there. It's a pretty clean looking Bug Eye, right? I started going through it. I drove out there, I looked at this thing, and I'm like, all right, not that bad looking, not that bad. Now, there's a couple red flags with this one. A, the trunk completely stripped. Don't know what happened there. B, the seller doesn't even know what engine is in this car. When I looked at this one, it's some type of JDM engine. It's an EJ20. I don't specifically know which one. They had no idea either. But the confusion gets a lot more real. This one, the steering wheel is completely screwed on it. But that's like the least of the worries right there. The glove box is broken, so it looks like somebody ripped open the glove box, broke into it. Back seats don't look too bad. Somebody stole the head unit. My thoughts on this is somebody actually stole this car. And then somehow this is at a dealership, and then somehow this dealership ended up with this car. It got a lot worse. So going through it, where's it at? Right here. So this is it's obviously a WRX. It's obviously a 2-liter. This is obviously an STI gauge cluster. They're advertising this car for sale with 107,000 miles on it. With a swapped cluster. That car, I can guarantee you this car don't have 107,000 miles on it. That car has seen way more miles. And the tach doesn't even work. Like, yeah, be careful. Like, in all honesty, if you guys are going out there to buy cars, be careful with this one. Because from the photos I saw on this, it looked relatively clean. I thought maybe they just had the glove box open. Not the case. Guarantee you this car was stolen. This window right here does not line up with the door anymore at all. And it looked like somebody pried the trunk open to get back in there. So I guarantee you this car was stolen. And then some dealership bought it. I don't quite know what happened there. Next up, this one I found a little interesting. $6,200 for a 2007 WRX Limited. It's got over 300,000 miles on it. Holy hell. Like, let's be real here. $2,000. You got 300K on this thing. It's not worth $6,700. I don't care how good of condition it is. No, stop. Stop. $6,200 for a WRX with over 300,000 miles. Let's be real here. This ain't a $6,700 car. This is maybe a $2,000 WRX. Okay, all right. Those were just kind of like the weird, outstanding ones that I kind of came across. There's a couple of cool ones that I actually saw that I wanted to show you guys all. Next up, this one stood out to me because I saw a 2002 Subaru Impreza WRX, $35,000 for 80,000 miles. But I don't know if that's his actual price of what he's actually trying to get out of this thing, but it's actually a pretty dope car. So I was going through here, I was like, all right, it's super stancy boy. But I was like, okay, all right, we got a swap in this thing. We have an 07, 06 WRX STI front end swap on it. A ton of camber. But going into it, it's got a 1J in it. Like, this thing's dope. I don't know if he's actually looking for 35 grand for this car. I guarantee you he has more into it. Maybe he has more into it than that. I have no idea. It's got 06, 07 STI. It's got a ton of stuff on it. This thing's a sick build. Like, if you're out there watching this one, like, kudos and congrats. The car looks great. I don't think it handles all that well. I'm pretty sure it's rear wheel drive swapped at this point. But really, really clean looking car. And it's a cool swap too. You don't see a lot of 1J swaps. In Subarus, I should say. Next up, this dope looking Forester. So I wholeheartedly believe that this Forester is 100% worth $20,000. It's an 04. I don't know how many miles are on the chassis. I didn't really look too much into it. Okay, we have an offer up ad right here. Let's just do that. Does the offer up ad? All right, the offer up ad actually has more information in it. So catalyst downpipe, built IAG engine, 625 rod bolts, whole ton of stuff going into this one. 06 STI transmission swap with DCCD, ton of stuff going into this car. 190K on the odometer, 40K. I firmly do believe that this one is worth 20K. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and say that every older WRX STI or anything like that is not worth a high price. But when you put the money into them and you actually make them a little bit different, and the modifications reflect the car, I wholeheartedly do believe that the price can reflect it. Most of the ones that we looked at earlier, your prices don't reflect your car. Not sorry, but this one's a dope build. Like, kudos and congrats. Looks like the car was painted World Rally Blue as well. Really, really, really good one. And then the last one that really stood out to me that caught my eye was this one. God, dude, that's a good looking car right there. I'm sorry, I couldn't help but to do it. Couldn't help but to do it. But really, that's really all I got for you guys on this one. I just wanted to share my frustrations and kind of show some of the do's and don'ts when it comes to like selling your car on Facebook Marketplace. Like, try to avoid all that stuff that we talked about. Remember, just put the actual mileage of the car in your description. Don't put how many miles are on the engine. Nobody cares how many miles are on the... Well, some people, a lot of people care about how many miles are on the engine, but the main thing is we want to know how many miles are on the actual car, not just the engine, because you got things like bushing, suspension, drivetrain, a whole bunch of other components that are going to wear. Cool that you got 30K on your engine. How many miles are on everything? Please, for the love of God, also put a price in a description with your car. No one's going to buy your car if you say message me for details. It's very off-putting. It's not a friendly thing. It's just put a description when you go to sell your car. But that's really all I got for you guys on this one. So like I said earlier in the video, we go to pick up the new car on Saturday. I do apologize for the lack of uploads recently, but I have literally been living Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp, Craigslist, all these other ones, like trying my ass off to source a car that's gonna work out for what I want at least. This car that we're picking up is one that I'm gonna be learning how to tune on. Some of you guys were guessing over in the community tab, and some of you, if you're not in the Discord, join the Discord too, because if you're not in there, there's a group of us just chilling on like a Discord call. Like, we have an open Discord server where you can jump into the call settings if you want. Someone's in there and just like kick it. Like, we were playing Forza, looking at cars online last night. It was a good time. But anyways, that's all I got for you guys on this one. Super pumped to be picking up the new car this week. If you guys have any guesses on what it might be, maybe we looked at it in some of these tabs earlier, but if you guys do have a guess, feel free to throw it down in the description below. And if there's anything that really irks you when it comes to like Facebook Marketplace or OfferUp when trying to buy a car, let me know. The biggest thing for me is like when you message someone who's selling a car, but they're like, I don't know if I'm going to be selling the car, or they give you like excuses as to why they can't sell the car. It's the biggest thing for me. But with that, I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, homies.